Imagine waking up broke and going to bed a billionaire on one condition: survive 12 months inside a puzzle box mansion rigged by a dead Texas tycoon. That's Avery Graham's new reality. Forget cozy escape room vibes. This place runs on secret clauses, ticking riddles, and heirs who'd happily shove you down a hidden staircase. Ready to crack the first lock? Alright, so you think the Inheritance Games kicks off as a fun billionaire's little puzzle game? Not quite. It actually starts as a chess move in a family power struggle, and Avery's about to get drafted. Spoiler alert, this video dives into the big setup and the power plays in the first book. Enough to see why the story is not what you think it is, but we'll leave the ending unspoiled. If you want a completely blank slate, bookmark this and come back after you finish the last chapter. Now, picture Avery Graham's a high school senior sharing a shoebox apartment with her sister, grinding through double shifts at Miller's Diner to cover rent, and sneaking in community college work between homework and work. Her biggest dramas? Surprise pimples and whether she'll ace her civics final. The horror, right? Then one afternoon, her world snaps. A jet black SUV glides into her campus parking lot. A lawyer in a razor-sharp suit hands Avery an envelope stamped Grams. She tears it open, expecting another thanks but no thanks university rejection letter. Instead, she gets Tobias Hawthorne's will. Avery definitely recognized the name Tobias Hawthorne. Texas hermit billionaire, part-time AI messiah, full-time art hoarder. The guy did fewer interviews than Bigfoot, which only cranked the rumor mill to max volume. So when his will essentially said, "Surprise, random teenager gets everything," it was a tad out of character. By the will's terms, Avery inherits Hawthorne House, the family tech empires, a private jet fleet, and art pieces that probably need their own security detail. Cue the $ eyeball emoji. But there's a catch, because of course there's always a catch. To claim a single cent, she has to move in and live there for 1 whole year. No weekend visits, no pop in if I'm nearby. 1 uninterrupted residency or 0 inheritance. Seems simple enough, right? Avery runs into Grayson Hawthorne, Tobias's eldest grandson and heir apparent. Think, this is fine, dog, but wearing Armani. He's understandably miffed, and his cold shoulder could freeze lava. But he's got at least enough brain cells to understand he needs to play nicely. Kind of. A minute later, she meets his brother, Jameson Hawthorne, who could easily be mistaken for a golden retriever, if Goldens wore tuxedos and walked on 2 feet. He's like if Red Bull and Reddit had a baby. It's only wealth that saved him from being named Kyle. Trying valiantly to suppress the urge to vomit from the whirlwind of a massive life change she has just encountered, Avery steps into Hawthorne House. The place is exactly what you'd expect. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, towering columns. Portraits of Tobias line the walls like a disturbing jury of clones. Nothing says humble billionaire like an entire hallway filled with portraits of yourself. Now, Avery's net worth graph has gone from ramen noodles to private jet, and her anxiety graph has the same slope. Yet still, there is no note, no reason, no hint why Tobias picked her of all people. After a quick detour to the estate's private office with the estate's lawyer hovering like Microsoft Clippy, Avery's eyes lock on her next nightmare. She spots the infamous red will folder on a side table and clips a red acetate filter that she found earlier over the typed page. The text shimmers to life. Begin at the grandfather clock. Oh, yay, a treasure hunt. Just what she needed to calm her creeping panic. And that's the moment the whole setup snaps into focus. Is it all a Willy Wonka-style weirdo rich guy game, or a power grab in disguise? Ever wonder why mystery fortune plots trend on every For You page? Money shocks the system. Toss in a ticking puzzle and people who can't look away. One minute you're daydreaming about yachts, the next you're asking, Would I trade privacy for that? The inheritance games leans right into that itch. The instant Avery slides the red filter, the whole fantasy tilts. Cash still sparkles, sure, yet every clue feels like a dare about morals. Stick with us, we're just getting started. Avery thought the puzzles were the problem until she realized the real challenge was the heirs themselves. Grayson and Jameson aren't just fellow competitors, they're her unavoidable teammates. Grayson is the play-it-safe brother. Think Excel spreadsheets with thumbs. He's the one who knows every clause of Tobias's will, and he'll happily remind Avery that misreading a clue or wandering off could mean losing precious time, and with it, her sanity. He lays out each puzzle step by step, his cool confidence laced with a disgruntled, "I was supposed to inherit this alone." Lean on Grayson and you get structure, plus a charming side of resentment that never quite goes away. Hope you like salt. Jameson is the opposite. 2 doom scrolls short of a TikTok challenge, he's the guy dragging Avery into midnight clue hunts and vaulting down hidden staircases because, trust me, bro! He shortcuts through riddle dead ends, but those spur-of-the-moment detours can mean surprise drop doors or nearly triggering a hidden latch, which, unsurprisingly, leaves Avery grateful and terrified in equal measure. Legally, Avery just has to live in Hawthorne House for 1 year. No heir can make her follow their orders. But practically, some puzzles hinge on family lore. Middle names, birth order, Tobias's particular brand of toilet paper. Okay, maybe not that one. Things that she absolutely has no clue about. Grayson supplies the fine print facts. Jameson points out secret panels no guidebook mentions. Sure, she could try solo, but she'd miss half the clues or wander into locked rooms with no exit. Which she might also do with Jameson, but that's beside the point. The mansion is full of surprises, mechanisms designed to shift the rules at any moment, and spaces that can suddenly close you in. Go it alone, and you might find yourself trapped or stranded in the dark. Teaming up isn't a legal requirement, but it's a smart move if you value your life. Then there's the emotional crossfire. Grayson's careful hand on her arm as he steadies her for a tricky lever flip sends her pulse racing. Something deeper than gratitude flickers in his eyes. Jameson's teasing brush of knuckles as he shows her a hidden notch feels electric, and equally alarming. Every time Avery accepts help, she surrenders a bit of control, and she knows it. So ask yourself, would you hitch your fortunes to Grayson's ice-cold precision or gamble with Jameson's wild shortcuts? Neither path is risk-free. Each alliance shifts the family balance, and every clue cracked gives one brother more influence over Avery's fate and the Hawthorne legacy itself. And that's only the warm-up. The real turning point arrives when Tobias's own playbook emerges. Handmade clues that rearrange loyalties and overturn every expectation. From here on, every puzzle doesn't just open a door, it slams one behind Avery. Welcome to Phase 2. Quick detour. Author Jennifer Lynn Barnes packs a Yale PhD in psychology, and you can feel it. Each trap pokes a pressure point: loyalty, fear, ego. Hawthorne House acts like a lab where characters bump into their worst impulses. Readers? We volunteer as test subjects page after page. Ready to see what happens next? Buckle up. Here's where the house starts talking back. By now you've sampled the flashy stuff like hidden passages and coded wills. Maybe a Rube Goldberg gear even lobbed a key across the hallways for laughs. But lift your gaze. Tobias built a stage where the walls whisper on cue. Secret hallways and buried notes nudge every visitor straight into his grip. Think about it. Every hidden panel isn't a cool surprise, it's a test of trust. When Avery triggers a concealed drawer or finds a private note, she's not just collecting clues. She's walking straight into Tobias's living blueprint for control. He didn't drop clues so the family could play weekend scavenger hunt. He rigged an obstacle course to see who'd bail, who'd backstab, and who'd actually keep their cool. Consider the personal tokens Avery pries loose. A scribbled note behind a baseboard or a scuffed toy on a closet shelf. Each fragment waits to record whoever reaches for it. Tobias set these pieces like banana peels on polished marble. The house relays your slip in real time. Crack one open, the invisible scoreboard pings, tallying who rides the secret upward and who plants face first on the staircase. And what about those secret corridors? They don't simply connect rooms, they connect motives. Step into a hidden hallway and you leave behind the rules of polite society. Hello, Zillow agent, this was not in the listing. Tobias rigged the floor plan so that only the boldest, or those with zero self-preservation instincts, will follow clues into the shadows. Each turn tests alliances. Do you stick with Mr. Spreadsheet in an Oxford, or do you chase the Chaos Goblin with cufflinks? Tobias's so-called brain teasers are just him stirring the pot. Crack one, the scoreboard flips, pry loose a grimy family receipt, loyalties detonate. Let a confession slip, trust evaporates. That's his thing. Pack the power into information and watch the sharks circle. Ask yourself, you crack open Tobias's diary, does a rush of triumph hit first, or the urge to slam it shut and claim plausible deniability? Hawthorne House designs that confusion on purpose. Tobias, a man who could flip a startup at breakfast and hang a museum piece by dinner, spent his last years wiring the place as a live experiment. One stray sentence in that notebook can shove an entire bloodline off balance. This is why The Inheritance Games isn't just a puzzle novel. It's a case study in how secrets become weapons, how knowledge entrenches power, and how structures, literal walls and hidden rooms, can serve as the scaffolding for manipulation. The mansion doesn't merely house puzzles, it houses Tobias's philosophy of control. So what does that mean for Avery? As she pieces together each hidden message, she's more than a competitor. She's also inheriting the burden of those secrets. She has to decide, will she use them to forge a new path, or will she become yet another pawn in Tobias's final twist? All this time, Avery has moved through Hawthorne House on a script she didn't write, chasing breadcrumbs, decoding half-smart clues, leaning first on Grayson's steady hand, then veering after Jameson's dare calls. At some point, she hears an inner click. The pre-made map can stay on the wall. She'll draw her own. Picture Avery pausing before the final barrier. Silence stretches so thick you can hear the house holding its breath. Every "you must" and "follow me" she's absorbed up to now falls away in a heartbeat. In that instant, she realizes the real test Tobias set wasn't about finding the treasure. It was about claiming her own power. Slay, queen! She steps forward and the game pops open. In that split second, control slides out of the mansion's hidden gears and settles in her grip. The corridors that once felt like traps stretch into open roads, and the clues that sounded like homework now read as invitations. Here's your map. Go build your own empire. Hang on, hold up. She can change the rules? That's the real twist. Not the riddles, but the moment Avery clocks that she's the one holding the pen. Then the gears grind. The brothers, who thought they pulled every string, start sweating. Turns out Avery's not their pawn, she's flipping the board. Suddenly, the big flex isn't a flashy last name or a secret passage. It's deciding, when nobody's looking, whether you stick with the script or draft a brand new one. Think about your own crossroads. That instant when the voice in your head screams, "Do it!" What happens when you stop following and start leading? That spark of rebellion or surge of clarity, that's the heart of the Inheritance Games. Avery's split-second choice hits home because we've all seen a version of it. Think of the youngest cousin taking over the family store and swapping paper ledgers for an iPad, or the new hire who asks why the team still lives in spreadsheets from 1999. Tension spikes, alliances reshuffle, boomers grumble. Hawthorne House just adds chandeliers and secret doors to the same moment. Someone decides the old playbook is toast and starts writing a new one. Your turn. Inherit and protect, or inherit and burn it down. What would you do? Avery's adventure in Hawthorne House shows us that the richest prize isn't tucked away in a vault. It's the freedom to make your own choices. What starts as a high-stakes scavenger hunt mutates into a lesson on agency, trust, and the sheer freaking audacity it takes to rewrite a story someone else scripted for you. But here's the thing. You haven't even seen the whole play yet. The Inheritance Games is just the opening gambit. In the sequels, fresh dilemmas crash land on Avery's doorstep. One tugs at her loyalty, another elbows her ambition, and a third leans in to whisper, "History's basically a shared Google Doc. Want edit access?" It's a reminder that making that first bold choice doesn't end the journey. It sparks a chain reaction. Every new door she opened leads to another challenge, another chance to assert her own path rather than fall back on a family blueprint. Real life throws that echo too. Maybe you got handed the family shop before you could run a budget, or slid into a job someone planned for you ages ago. You follow the script on autopilot until one day you pause and think, wait, why am I still on their route? That little surge of, maybe I do this my way, is exactly what zaps through Avery when she slides that last key and realizes the rulebook is hers to edit. And there's more to it than just thrill ride drama. Every time Avery unearths a hidden message, she wrestles with responsibility. Secrets in that mansion aren't rewards, they're tests. It's a balancing act of integrity and strategy, and it mirrors those real-world crossroads where knowledge can be both a gift and a burden. So you've snagged someone's shadow-stained playbook, complete with spiteful little margin doodles. Option 1, slide it back onto the shelf and whistle your way out. Option 2, tuck it under your arm, crack the cheat codes, and repaint the game board while everyone else is still arguing about the rules. Avery went with option 2, and the mansion creaked like it just made popcorn to watch the show. Hungry for next round? Crack open books 2 and 3. Avery's stunt sparks fresh handshake deals and sharper grudges, and each chapter feels like a crash course in long-term power upkeep. Basically, daily firmware updates that keep the game running her way. Every sequel peels back another layer of the Hawthorne maze, showing how an inheritance shifts with each new decision. Need another fix after Hawthorne House? Slide over to Maureen Johnson's truly devious boarding school tunnels and cold case riddles that refuse to stay buried. Or Karen M. McManus's One of Us is Lying for murder mystery gossip that snowballs fast. Same pulse spike puzzles, fresh set of secrets. Takeaway. Inheritance starts the moment the keys land in your pocket. Whether your maze glows cubicle gray or chandelier bright, pull an Avery. Shred the prefab script and drive your own route. Keep that flashlight handy. Hawthorne House always saves one more reveal. And that, friends, is Hawthorne House. Part escape room, part psychological boot camp, all expense-paid chaos. If you make it out without trust issues or 12 therapy sessions, congratulations, you win. The rest of us, we'll be in the secret tunnel panic-eating caviar.